Whenever I go out for a walk or I go for a bike ride, I always make sure that I wear my little watch, because what it does is it measures my heart rate and it tells me sort of what zone I'm in, how many times my heart is beating a minute, and if it's time for me to push it forward or if it's time for me to sort of pull it back. My friends, God is more interested in your heart than anything else in your entire life. God is interested in what is going on the inside of ourselves, trying to help us reveal something about ourselves, reveal something about our motivations or ambitions, revealing something about our ego or our self-reliance. The Old Testament warns about trying to encourage us to care for our hearts. It says this, it says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Or later in Psalms, it says, create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit in me. King David, he was actually called the man after God's own heart, showing you how important King David was. Jesus talks about our heart all the time. He says things like this. He says, wherever your treasure is, your heart will be also. And then later he says, love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all your soul and all your mind. And then even later he says, blessed are those who are pure in heart, for they will see God. Now Paul actually warns us about the dangers of our hearts, about us doing things too selfishly. He says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain or conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but looking to the interests of others. You see, whatever condition our heart is in, it matters deeply. And so, like our heart rate monitor on our watch, we need to monitor it to figure out what's going on in ourselves. A number of years ago, I learned this little trick, and I really want to share it with you because I found it to be really, really helpful in my life. What I do is I'll just scribble on a little piece of paper when I'm trying to check my heart and figure out what's going on inside of me. And I'll draw a little heart, sort of just like this. And I'll draw these sort of little tines that kind of come out of it. And I'll sit there and I'll pray and I'll sit there and try and figure out what exactly is going on in my heart. Like if I'm worried about one of my kids, I'll go ahead and scribble their names down there. Or if I feel like I have to prove myself in a particular situation, I'll write down prove myself sort of on there. Or if I'm worried about finances or something else kind of going on in my head, I'll write down money on there. All these things so I can figure out kind of what's going on with my heart. I'll do this before I go into a big meeting where I'm feeling anxiety, and I'll write it down, and I'll even do it before I get up in church to go preach, to see what's going on in my heart and see what I'm bringing into that experience. And then I do the same thing that King David did. I say, God, these are the things going on in me, but create in me a pure heart, oh God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. So just like on your run or your bike ride or however you get your exercise, friends, monitor your heart.